Hello. Today I want to show you how to set up Visio for the first time and get started using it. So depending upon how you installed it, you may or may not have a shortcut on your desktop. Usually Visio appears in the start menu, and it usually isn't filed under Visio, but you find it under Microsoft Office, whatever version you have. And I'm using 2013. So you open up Visio that way. You select a blank drawing. Make sure that you have US units and say create. Here's your drawing area. The size, there's a ruler across the top. It's 8.5 by 11. It looks a little distorted, but that's the standard size of paper. So now the next thing that you want to do to get ready is you want to be able to add shapes, objects that will put on your drawing area. So you click on more shapes. We slide down to network, and for today we're going to turn 2 or 3 of them on. We're going to use standard 2-dimensional rather than 3. We want to use I want you to select computer monitors. And then I want you to select network and peripherals. And the last is network symbols. Okay, when you're done, all you have to do is deselect. Now, the shapes collapse and expand as you select them. If there's more than what appears, you can use the scroll bar to slide down and get those last couple icon drawings that you can't quite see. But for now, we're going to select computers and monitors. To put a shape on the paper, all you have to do is click and hold and drag it. Notice that it has the standard fill handles around it. You can orient it by tipping it this way or that. For the most part, we'll want them oriented vertically and horizontally. But you can also select them by pointing to them and clicking and holding, and get the 4-headed arrow and move them around the page to suit your drawing specification. You can also enlarge or make them smaller. Always when you're resizing an object, you move it in the diagonal, or you'll distort the picture. So again, you pick your symbol, click and drag it and drop it on your piece of paper. Now a couple other things. I'm moving these out of the way because I'm going to put something up in this corner. Usually in a drawing you put identifying information, meaning who created it, for what company or organization, for what project, what date, up in the upper left hand corner or down in the lower right hand corner. Different companies will have different specifications. But to add wording, we're going to go to the text box up here in the menu. I'm going to select it. Your box resizes. I'm going to scroll back up to the upper left hand corner, and I'm going to click and drag in the diagonal. Okay. Now for your projects, I've asked you to put your name in, and then we'll press enter. It's automatically centered within the box. IST 154 dash and your section number, depending upon your section. The date, and the project number, HOP 2D. Okay, we have added the text box. So I'm going to review the other tools up in the toolbox area. So text was one. So if you select text, you can now add another caption under a particular item, like Bob's office, and you can deselect. But notice when you deselect, it's going to want to add another text box. So if you just want to move around the screen, you need to go back and select the pointer tool. The text box that you thought you were going that mistakenly got added will disappear. And now you can move on to other things. So one of the things we want to do, I've added a printer. I think I'm also going to go over and add maybe an external drive or a virtual external media storage. Okay, let's select that one. Notice that the lines help you line up your objects with each other. Now, within any network, it's important, and that's the point of a network, is to connect devices. So what we're going to do is use the connector tool. Okay, now all you have to do is point to one device, drag it to the other, and we now have cabling. Okay, and again, notice that the cabling or the connector tool stays. So you can just continue to draw. But again, when you want to move on to something else, you have to click on the pointer or selection tool so that you're not adding and dropping objects all over your diagram. I wanted to show you that you can modify your text boxes a little bit, formatting them. Notice I've added a switch and connected all the other devices. Okay, so I've also added a title. Every Visio drawing should have some sort of a title. So I've created one that says first floor. Okay, now I've selected the box. I want to make the font a little bit bigger, so I'm just going to hit the enlarge or increase font size so that you can see it. I'm also going to, well, you could put it in all caps if you wanted to. You can also change the font color. Okay, so you should enhance your title in some way, at least making the font a little bit bigger so people do recognize that it is a title, and it is important because that will lead into our next topic. All right, since we have added a text box title that says first floor, obviously there's going to be a second floor. Oftentimes you keep an entire project's diagrams in the same file. So you'll want to add a second page because there's going to be a second floor and third floor and so forth. So you go up to the Insert tab and select New Page. Down at the bottom, your first page seems like it's disappeared. It has not. Down at the bottom is where you keep track of each of your page tabs. So if I click back on page 1, here it is. Again, here is page 2, ready for you to go back to the home diagram and put a text box in that says second floor. Okay, we can enlarge that and make it formatted very similar to the first one. It should be virtually identical. Notice that your last color used should be right there in the text box. Okay, we can bold it, and we also made it what I believe both capital or all caps. So very quick way to add or begin your second floor diagram. If your first floor layout is identical or virtually identical to your second floor layout, don't waste a lot of time redrawing the same thing. Merely lasso or select your first floor diagram. Notice that the lasso appears. We're going to click on copy. We're going to hit page 2. We're going to click right here on the second floor page and say paste. Move your drawing down or up according to where it landed. Again, lasso it again and just click and hold and drag. It should land down below your title now. Looks like we lost part of a connection. You can just select that connection and drag it to the diagram, or alter it in any other way that you see needs altering. You can move this out a little bit. This one was tricky to put in to begin with. I'm just going to click on it and re-add the connection coming in this way. One last tip before you get started on your projects, you might want to go to the design area and select orientation. We have, by default, Visio presents to you a portrait, which means 8.5 by 11 vertically. You may want to change it to landscape because, or vice versa, because of the way your drawing is going. You can also select themes. The default is, of course, blank. That's up to you how you want to design your particular drawing. Thank you.